Central Illinois is the CI in CI Living.
Congratulations, you've made the decision to get financially fit this year. But how do you stay on the path? Here to help us get started with your dime is BlackVest Money LLC owner Deshaun Williams. All right, so lots of people made that decision beginning of 2022. This is going to be the year.
This is the year.
We're getting our finances fit. However, budgeting is key, and that's tough.
Absolutely. You know what? Like your fitness goals, right? You say you make up your mind to want to, make that change. And a lot of it, people don't realize, 80% of it is your mental, right? You have to really allow yourself to shift and change your mindset to want to do the things that are necessary to get you to the goals that you're reaching. It's the same thing with the finances, right? You have to ensure, because what I've learned dealing with, people just in general, it's not necessarily a need to make more money as much as it's just a need to understand how to, utilize the money that they have, and that's just, again, that goes back into that financially, that mindset shift as far as your finances are concerned.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned people wanting to do it.
Absolutely.
And they're probably now, though, with the way things are going with the economy and inflation and gas prices, there is going to be a need to make those decisions to get on a budget, because otherwise you're going to maybe face some hardship.
Yeah, you're forced. I say, as tough as the times have been, you're kind of forced to think about things that you wouldn't have normally, that we took for granted, right? You go to a gas station, you see $4.65. Either I'm going to keep driving, or you figure it out, right? So that's one of the things. I had a conversation with someone here over the last week. It's literally a matter of you putting it on paper, seeing what you have in front of you, and taking that time to ensure that you're able to survive to get to next week.
Yeah, so there's so much in writing things down to help you be successful, whether it be your diet, like staying on a path that way, but then also with this way, with the budget. I know so many people just count on, oh, the computer will do it for me, the electronics and all of that. But there is something about writing it down. Let's talk a little bit about those steps that they have to take. Step one, we've made the decision. That's probably first and foremost. Then what?
So step one, you've made that decision, right? So that's the hard part, deciding to do what's necessary to make that change. One thing that I have a client, here recently, she has debit cards, she has the apps and things of that nature. For a good solid 60 days, 30 to 60 days, we're going to eliminate all of that. Leave your debit card at home, delete the apps, let's ignore the electronic, portion of it, right? I want you to create a calendar. I have templates that I provide. Create a calendar. You have everything written down, as we've discussed before. I want you to write everything that's going out, write everything that's coming in down. That way you can see it right in front of you on just how much you're, kind of blowing. You're throwing away, essentially, right? Putting it on paper in front of you, it really puts you in a different mindset to understand, like, wait, no, I actually could technically have an additional $200 a month. In this case, my previous client, believe it or not, $2,000 extra a month that we seen. Like, what are we even talking about right now? But it's just, again, a mindset shift. So.
And discipline.
Definitely takes discipline. Definitely takes discipline. And again, that's a mental thing. You have to change that mind.
Yeah, it's hard though when you really just want that Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts.
The medicine ball it's a thing for sure. So.
Okay, so that's what you do is you help people come up with these step-by-step plans so they can be financially successful. If people are out there, they want to learn a little bit more, get in touch with you. You have a Facebook page, you have a podcast, you have lots of great resources, but what's the best way?
The best way, if you're by your phone, if you have your phone in hand, which I know most of us do, if you go on Facebook.com, whatever the case may be, BlackVestMoney.com. We are also, we have our as you said, our podcast that's available on all of your streaming services. We provide a ton of free information. There's a podcast out there right now that specifically talks about cash flow budgeting, right? So it helps you with your week-to-week, your day-to-day, kind of cash flow situation. So definitely reach out to us, BlackVestMoney.com.
All right. I know we're out of time, but there is also some emotional behaviors associated with becoming financially independent and literate too.
You think about the emotional eating. When you're depressed, you're frustrated, you tend to eat. It's the same thing. When you're depressed, frustrated, worried about how you're going to get from point A to point B, you're going to spend money. You're going to go and go to Starbucks. You're going to get those, go to Target, whatever the case may be. Again, you have to understand and be willing to shift your mindset to understand that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to do what's necessary to get there.
And if you budget for Starbucks or Target, then it's okay.
There's ways to do it. All right?
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. We're going to continue to get financially fit here in 2022. It is possible. And Deshaun's your guy. If you need a few tips, his services are free, up until a point where maybe things get a little more in-depth and you need a little extra help. But there's a way to connect with him on Facebook. Definitely check out his podcast. Some interesting guests there he has on his lineup. We'll connect you at CILiving.tv.